Thank you. They too gave me a time limit on my email. I got 10 to 12 minutes. So look, I brought my clock up here with me. So when I look down and I'm gonna be checking my time here, I got my clock right here to keep me on time schedule. But I want to start by saying a child is not a mistake. I heard this recently. I heard that a child is not a mistake. And I said, but a child is an opportunity to mature us, to grow us, to advance us, and to give us skills. It rung a bell with me when I immediately heard it, because they were talking about me. God gave me an assignment a long time ago. He assigned me to create a family, build a family, be a father, and he assigned me the responsibility of mentoring, coaching, managing, and teaching kids how to live. And I took that assignment very seriously. That's why I started coaching youth football. I was coaching youth football to teach kids self-responsibility. I wanted to teach them how to live. But what those children did, they gave me a clearer vision of my own life. Just as I was trying to teach them, I was also learning a lot myself about being responsible. Because I was young, and I was out of control, and I too had to learn responsibility. They don't know this now, but we were learning and teaching all at the same time. That's why whenever you look to coach, teach, or empower a kid, I want to give you some of my keys to realizing dreams. First of all, you got to have a clear vision. You got to have direction, and you have to have purpose. In the process of doing that, you'll develop a sense of resilience, and you'll also know the importance of a plan of action. Now, my first plan of action was to create the proper support system to help me to teach these kids. And remember, we're still on the assignment that God gave me. We had to teach the kids. Gary had to learn how to be a father, and he also had to learn how to build a family. I made a way to understand that all of those things worked together for the good. When I went to get my coaching staff together, I wanted people who I knew growing up, who understood the importance of living and teaching young people just as I did. So one of the first things I wanted them to teach these kids, they needed to teach the kids the difference behind unhealthy loyalty and healthy loyalty. Unhealthy loyalty is those kids and those people who want to be around you for what you want. They want to give you everything that you want, especially if you was a popular guy. But a healthy loyalty is those people who are going to be around you to make sure that you get what you need. Whether you wanted to hear it, whether you wanted to feel it, whether you wanted to see it or not. That's what healthy loyalty is. And it's based on God's principles. And that's why we were out there. So that's one of the reasons that once I decided to leave the professional sports, and I'm gonna tell you, I think I became a pretty good family man. My wife of almost 47 years is here to attest to that. Phyllis, she's here today. I have a daughter who's now 47 years old, and she's done pretty good for herself. A graduate of Hampton University, got her doctorate in education. She's teaching, learning, and empowering too. And let me get to that coaching thing. I used to think, because I was a guy who wasn't short on confidence, I chose to think that I was one of the greatest football coaches who's never won a national championship, who's never coached a Super Bowl team, and was never placed in the Hall of Fame. However, where I get the biggest joy is when one of those same kids that I was teaching how to play football and how to live on those grassy fields behind that school come to me today, and I see them as an accomplished coach, an accomplished doctor, an accomplished lawyer. These are some of the same kids that grew up the same way that I did, on the same fields, during the same times. But those stories right there mean more to me than a national championship. They mean more to me than a most valuable player trophy. Because those kids were graduating in the game of life. And that is what we're here to do as adults. We are here to graduate young people. And that's why I am so honored to serve on this board of directors. And when I saw and got to really learn and understand the meaning of our motto, empowering tomorrow's leaders, I knew then that I was in the right place. I knew then that I was doing the right thing. And when I saw this area council coming here to our town of Williamsburg, Virginia, to have their meeting, I felt even more honored to be here to speak to you all today, because I wanted you to know who I am. I wanted you to know that I served on a great board, one of the greatest boards that I've ever served on, because these people care about the development of our young people, whether they know them or not. They care about their development. They care how they graduate. They care what they're going to do in their community. And they're making a difference in the lives of others. I asked Steve, when I pointed it to him, show the people the book that I wrote, because it's the second edition of this book. But this book gives my life story. And I feel like my life story is a blueprint for how you take personal tragedy and use it as the catalyst to live a fruitful life and to do things that will help others. Again, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I've stayed within my time. I stayed within my time. But I want to leave with the final slide, and I hope that you could see it up there. It's a quote. It says that in life, we will only go as far as our team can dream. In life, we will only go as far as our team can dream. And you know, I told you the first thing that I heard this morning that got me excited about the fact that a child is not a mistake. The person that said that was Coach Prime, head coach of the University of Colorado. Look at his story. I used to love watching him play anything that took place with a ball. And I got to meet him personally. He's a guy that I can call my friend, Coach Prime. The late, great Coach John Thompson Jr. I got to call him my friend. I could pick up the phone and call him anytime and ask him anything that I wanted to ask him about empowering people and helping people in life. These are people great people that I got to meet and thought that I was important. The coach, great coach Larry Brown, Hall of Fame coach, on this phone anytime I want to call him. And I ran into a young man that I thought was just the most incredible person in the world, the late, great Kobe Bryant. Okay. Kobe Bryant was, I know you've heard people say this about people before, but when I tell you that he was a greater person than he ever was an athlete, you better believe it. You better believe it. Because I remember in 2001, one of the guys that I managed and empowered from a child, and he became a NBA All-Star and a Hall of Fame player, Allen Iverson. I was there in 2001 in Washington, D.C. when they played the best All-Star game that I had ever seen. And Allen was given the most valuable player. And at the end of that game, Allen gave me the game ball. And that meant, thank you, Mo, for the time that you gave me. The time that you gave me. See, a lot of us need to understand something. The greatest seed that you sow is the seed of time. When you give of your time, your harvest will be unbearable. You won't have room to receive the harvest that you get from the time that you give a young person. And when Kobe saw Allen give me that ball, he came up to me and he used to call me old head because I was an older guy with this younger generation of people that gave me my young soul. And he told me, he said, old head, you got that ball because you're the MVP. That meant the world to me. And I'm telling you, it's those type of experiences that are just immeasurable and you can never get them back. And I'll always remember this young man. God bless you and thank you for the time that you gave me.